March the 10th, 2025, and straight from the Highly Caffeinated Studio, this is According to Willie B, and I, Will Bryce, am your host for the next half hour. And today's little mental vacation that I'm going to drag you along is to Cherokee, North Carolina. Now, I know you already have your assumptions. If you've been there, you already have your assumptions of what the show's going to be about, and you would be totally wrong. But it is about Cherokee, North Carolina. But I would be remiss if I did not first mention our business highlight shout out of the week, and that goes to Elizabeth Ware Realty. Now that's W-A-R-E, over in Danville, Virginia. And you can find her on Facebook. Her and her husband both are in the real estate business in Danville. And if you want somebody that knows the area, knows the history, knows the ins and outs, it's Elizabeth Ware and her team. So go check her out on Facebook and tell her I sent you to talk to her. And I assure you, she'll take care of you. All right, so I would say that we would dive right into our episode. But before I get to that, I've got a little tiny thing that I need to kind of iron out, if you will. And it involves the merch shop. We did get the merch store open. We did get it uploaded. However, I ordered a sample of the t-shirt, and I was not happy. I am not going to have someone, whether I know them or not, spend $20 on a t-shirt and it be the quality that it is. So sometime today I will be taking down the store, revamping, and we're looking at going down a couple different avenues. But the store, I can tell you that the store will be incorporated into our own website that we already have, according to willieb.com. So this way it'll be more integrated, be easier to use, easier to find, etc., etc., etc. So, and yes, I said etc., just like people say espresso. So if people can drive me crazy saying espresso, then I can say etc. All right. No more arguing. We got to dive into this week's episode. And, it's really not diving because it's up in the mountains. But I'm not a mountain climber. The only thing that I'm really good at is falling down. So, there's that. So we'll just leave it to diving. And diving is another word for falling because you fall into the water. Okay, I digress. Let's get into Cherokee, North Carolina. What did I think of it? I absolutely love Cherokee, North Carolina. And not just Cherokee. I don't think there's a town along the Blue Ridge Parkway that I don't like. And there's a lot of them. You've got Asheville, you got Bryson City, you got Maggie Valley, you got Cherokee, the list just goes on and on and on. And some are pretty good sized towns like Cherokee, Asheville, and Maggie Valley. But, even Bryson City's a pretty decent town, in size comparison. But there's a lot of really small towns as well, and they are not to be passed by. Each one has its own little plays its own part in the Blue Ridge Parkway puzzle, if you will. So don't forget to check each one of them out. And, especially after all the hurricane and everything, they're really going to need our tourist dollars coming up. I plan to make another trip up to that area sometime before this summer of 25 and kind of give you guys an updated podcast on what's going on up there and how much they are really ready for us to come back. I know there are a lot of businesses and a lot of towns that dearly need us to come back, and I look forward to go spending some tourist dollars in that area. And then, of course, getting more material for the podcast to come back and report to you on what there is out there to eat, see, and do. Yes, I say eat first because that's the most important part of any vacation is the vacation food. Okay, so speaking of vacation food, what is there to eat in Cherokee, North Carolina? Now, I'm going to clear up one little tidbit here. Most people, if you've been to Cherokee, most people, when you say, "Oh, we went to Cherokee, North Carolina," their instant response is, "How did you do? Did you win or lose?" Because they're talking about the casino. And I assure you, there is so much more there to do than that casino at the top of the mountain. All you got to do is just drive down the streets and you will find just an immense amount of places to check out and things to do. And those are the things that I'm going to tell you about today. So if you want to start out talking about food and you want to start talking about breakfast, because that comes first, unless you're in Vegas, and then it really doesn't matter. But so for me, if I'm in Cherokee and I want breakfast, there's only one place, and it's just because it's my favorite. And in all honesty, I cannot give you a reason why. Now, that is probably the funniest statement I've ever said, because I can't give you a reason why it's my favorite. But it's Joey's Pancake House. And I don't know why. There's a couple other pancake houses there, like Frontier Pancake House, and I've eaten there, and they're really good. But for some reason, Joey's Pancake House has just always been my favorite. I like the vibe, I like the food, I like the servers, the waitstaff. It's just I don't know. It's just my favorite for some reason. And if somebody strapped me to a chair and said, put a bright light in my face and said, "Why? Why is it your favorite?" I don't know. It just is. That's my answer. It just is. But their pancakes are really good. Their breakfast is really good. I love their service. I guess it has, when you're sitting in there, it has like a mountain town vibe to it. Maybe that's it. But I feel like, and don't laugh at me, okay? Or laugh at me if you will. I don't care. I'll laugh at myself. But when I sit in Joey's Pancake House, and the next time you go, you see if you feel the same. But when I'm sitting in Joey's Pancake House, I feel like I'm sitting in a restaurant in the Swiss Alps. I don't know why. That's just the vibe I get, and I enjoy it. So there's that. So I gave you something. And then it's not just, breakfast. I mean, there's Joey's Pancake House, Frontier Pancake House, and the list goes on. But then there's also a place called Grounded Coffee Shop. I love the name. That is so cool. And they've got food, pastries, sandwiches, etc., etc. And I've not had any of that, but I have had their coffee, and their coffee is really good. And I'm really picky on coffee. Shocker, huh? So, but their coffee is really good. The Grounded Coffee Shop. Check them out. Tell them I sent you. There is also a place called the Ice Cream Station. Love, love, love this place. It was somebody who could not get enough calories in ice cream, and they had to come up with a creative way to add more calories. So they take funnel cakes, and then they make sundaes. So that you got the funnel cake, the sugar and all, then you got the mega scoops of ice cream, then you've got all the toppings and everything. So it's just a massive amount of sugar. So if you want to have your sugar overload for the day, then go to Ice Cream Station. There are so many different options that you can get, and I absolutely love it. It is for me, it's a must do every time I go to Cherokee. Absolutely love that place. If you want something, let's say you're hungry for lunch and you want something really good for lunch, I got something for you. So it's called Fresh Burger, and it is really good. I mean, it's a hamburger. Like I've told y'all, you can't wow me on breakfast. Your gonna have to really bring it to wow me on a burger. But Fresh Burger, is a really good burger. They make their hamburger patties, and they've got some creative options, but it's just a really good fresh hamburger, and I absolutely love Fresh Burger. So make sure you check them out as well. Again, it's a mom and pop, and those are my favorite places. Now let's say that you've gotten through breakfast, you've had a sugar overload with pancakes, you've had your coffee from Grounded Coffee, you have had your ice cream from Ice Cream Station, and you're on sugar overload, so you tried to offset it with a Fresh Burger, and now it's dinner time. So I'm not going to feed you more sugar for dinner. I'm going to give you a really good option for dinner. I hope you're sitting down for this one. This is called Circle H Chop House. Now, this is a farm-to-table restaurant. All their beef and bison is locally sourced. Their sides are very creative. I always like that. Everybody's going to have the same old sides. You're going to have mashed potatoes, french fries, etc., etc. But when a restaurant gets creative on sides, I like that, because sometimes we just want something different. We don't want mashed potatoes. We don't want, well, I can't say that I don't ever want mashed potatoes, because I'm a meat and potatoes guy, so there's never a time that I don't want mashed potatoes. But it is nice to have something. And on a side note to that, I will say I see more and more restaurants getting very creative, bringing Brussels sprouts back. I know what you're thinking, and if you hate Brussels sprouts, I get it. I get it. But they're getting so creative with some of these recipes on Brussels sprouts, and it's a very versatile vegetable that you can cook so many different ways. You can pan fry it, you can sear it, you can boil it, the list goes on. And you could put bacon in an iron skillet with some balsamic vinegar, balsamic glaze, and Brussels sprouts, and you just have something that's just over the top good. And so I'm glad to see restaurants bringing Brussels sprouts back, and that was one of the sides that they have is Brussels sprouts, and they do a phenomenal job with them. You don't even really know that you're eating Brussels sprouts. Don't judge me. I'm telling you. I wouldn't tell you if it wasn't good. You know me. If I'm telling you something's good, then you know it's good. And you can come back and let me know. You could send me an email, a text, a carrier pigeon, whatever. Just let me know what you think. But a very good restaurant, Circle H Chop House. It was one of my favorite dinner places that I've had in Maggie Valley. Now, I've fed you so much food now, you're miserable, so we got to get you up moving around. So, if we're going to find something to do in Maggie Valley, and Cherokee, etc., you can't just go sit in a casino. One, you're going to go broke, and two, we're not getting any exercise sitting there. So, other things that you will find to do in Cherokee is there is a place called, and I already know what your thoughts are going to be if you've seen one of these. It is a very touristy, cheesy tourist trap. I get it. But if you haven't done it, then you really can't go with that synopsis. And here it is. It's called the Smoky Mountain Gold and Ruby Mine. Now, I'll give you a little backstory. People used to say about my dad, they would tell stories about my dad, and they would say that he could sell ice cubes to Eskimos. Partially was probably true. If he believed in it, he could talk you into it. He was really good. But only if he believed in it. If he didn't believe in something, then he just could not. He could not sell it to you because he didn't believe in it himself. Just like I don't believe in these T-shirts that we put on our store. They're gone. They're history. But here's a place that got creative on a tourist attraction. I'm going to go with that. I'm not going to call it a tourist trap. I'm going to call it a tourist attraction because to me, if you go and do it, you'll understand the attraction. No pun intended. But they're selling buckets of dirt. I can't make this up. They are selling buckets of dirt. It is anything from a little plastic toy pail like you see a kid play with on the beach to a 5-gallon bucket from Home Depot. So, selling a bucket of dirt and then hiding gems and etc. And occasional they claim the nugget of gold, right? And supposedly people have found gold nuggets in the past. And I don't discredit that because I don't know, right? I don't have any proof to either claim nor deny. So so there's the excitement of that you could find a gold nugget. But the part that they made it really cool was as you take your bucket of dirt with the running water in the trough and you're taking the little sieve and you're sifting through the dirt to find your treasures, if you will. If you find emeralds, rubies, or anything like this nature, you can take them inside the store and they will identify what it is, and then they'll take it a step further. They will make some sort of jewelry, whether it be necklace or ring or pendant, whatever. I thought that part was really creative. To take some rocks in a bucket of dirt that you bought, and then you sift through it in the water, find it, take it in, identify it, and then pick jewelry, and then it becomes a really neat souvenir, if you will, that when your significant other is wearing this jewelry, it's like, oh, what's that? Oh, this is an emerald that I found when I went sifting for gold up in the mountains. No, did I defer from the truth? No, I just painted a different picture for you. I didn't tell you that I bought a bucket of dirt and this was in it. So, I mean, it is what it is, okay? But like I said, it's a very unique tourist attraction, in my opinion. And I wouldn't try to sell you on it if I didn't think it was cool. Just like I wouldn't sell you on something that was bad to eat. If I tell you something's good to eat, you can pretty much take it to the bank. But so I thought that was really cool. There is also a place called, and I'm probably not going to pronounce this right, so I'll just go and apologize now, but Sanuk's Mill and Gift Shop. This place was really cool. This place brought back some nostalgia for me because they had a grist mill inside and outside the store, because it's one of two, my understanding is one of two water-powered grist mills up there that have the water wheel outside and turning, and then between the belts and different wheels takes it not only into the store but also 2 levels, so you can actually go upstairs and see the second half of the grist mill actually working, and you can buy grits and you can buy fresh ground cornmeal, etc. And I did, and it was really good. But that was really cool to see, and it was in operation the day we were there. I think most days they do have it in operation. I think they run that mill fairly often, or pretty much continuously. I have understand that they sell out of their grits and cornmeal quite often, so they keep that thing running, and that's really unique. I enjoyed seeing that and then being experienced, and then what a great souvenir to bring back home was the bag of cornmeal, making a pan of cornbread, going, hey, this, I was watching this being made by this massive water-powered grist mill. So I thought that was really cool. And they've got a gift shop that, if it's not in there, I don't think it exists, because they literally have every single thing that could have ever dreamt for in a gift shop. So really cool place. Check it out. Like I said, Saunooks, and it's SAUNOOKES Mill and Gift Shop. And yes, of course, if you want something else to do, maybe for a nighttime activity, there is Harrah's Cherokee Casino. We've been a few times. I'm not a huge fan of that particular casino for no particular reason. It's just not one of my favorite. But it is, if you're in Cherokee for the weekend, it does give you a nighttime activity. Just hold on to your wallet tightly. There's also the Cherokee Veteran Park. That is cool to check out. There is also another, let's call it a gift shop, if you will. That's basically what it is, but it's called Bear Meats, BEAR, Meats, MEATS, Indian Den. They have alligator jerky, bison jerky, bear jerky. I mean, if they can make it any kind of meat in jerky, they've got it. It's a very unique culinary gift shop, if you will. That's the best way I can describe that. But there's some locally made artifacts and stuff in there as well that you can purchase. There is a 12-foot, I believe it's 12-foot stuffed bear, black grizzly bear. And it's my understanding that also is for sale. I did not purchase that. I do not have anywhere to put a 12-foot grizzly bear, whether it be stuffed or otherwise. But if you think that would look good in your living room, then by all means, go by the Bear Meats Indian Den and tell them you want the 12-foot grizzly bear. You enjoy that. I have a feeling that might be a little bit creepy at the middle of the night to have a 12-foot bear in your house. I'm just kind of thinking that through. No, not my thing. But hey, there's a lot of things out there that are really not my thing. Okay, so when it comes to places to stay, I want to make sure I don't forget this. There are so many options. There are cabins, Airbnbs, breakfast, bed and breakfast, hotels, motels. When's the last time you seen a motel? It's those are kind of a dying breed, but up there they've really taken some of these old motels and they've kind of revamped them, and they are a really cool place to stay. So don't hesitate to stay in a motel and just check out the vibe and the views, and the people that own them are just go out of their way to make sure that you're comfortable. They're very accommodating. A couple other places on the list. There is a Twisted Sisters gift shop. A very unique gift shop. A lot of metal art. If you're looking for metal art for your yard, I actually have a piece of metal art from there hanging on my shop. That is an old antique truck, and I thought that was really cool. So that actually made it home with me. I chose that instead of the 12-foot bear. So you kind of figured out the reasons why, and it had nothing to do with my wife telling me no. If you're an outdoor enthusiast, especially during the spring and summer, there are so many things to do. You've got the rivers where you have the rapids for tubing and kayaking, whitewater rafting, etc. And then, of course, in the wintertime, you've got snow skiing, butchering them words up today. Snow skiing, snowboarding, all that other stuff you do on boards and skis, etc. in the snow. Me personally, I would take it sitting down on a sled or a tube, and that's my style. Like I told you in the beginning, I'm good at falling down. You really want to strap me on a pair of skis? The only way you would get me down to the bottom of the hill is tell me there's a lot of bacon at the bottom of the hill. I would probably make it, maybe with 2 broken legs, but I would make it. But there is a lot of outdoor activity. There's the hiking. There's a lot of different parks with walkways, waterfalls. I mean, the scenery alone in the mountains is enough to make you go. If you took out all of the food, please don't. If you take out all the food and things to do, etc., just the view alone at the top of the mountain is worth going. So there's that. So Cherokee is absolutely one of my favorite places to go. I would say second favorite would be Maggie Valley. It's almost like kind of like a carbon copy of Cherokee in a way, but there are some subtle differences, and I kind of like to visit both because there's a vibe in each one that's a little bit different. Again, there's Bryson City, Asheville, and the list goes on. And like I'll be taking another trip out there probably sometime this summer, and so look forward to another update on how things are up in the mountain area in the Blue Ridge Parkway. And that alone has enough views to keep you. That's a whole day. You could spend a whole day just going down the Blue Ridge Parkway. But make sure if you want to stay overnight, check out one of the motels, and that's with an M. You got your chain hotels and stuff, but you know how I feel about national chains, whether it be food, places to stay, or whatever. I prefer mom and pop independence because that's where your money goes back into the community, 100%. But that is my stance, and I stand beside it. That's pretty much what I have for you when it comes to Cherokee, North Carolina. Would I go again? Yes, I plan to go again. It is one of my favorite places to go. So I implore you, if you ever get a chance to check out any of those towns along the Blue Ridge Parkway, you will not be disappointed. If you have any questions directly related to traveling in that area, I'd be glad to answer them and research them for you. So you can give me a shout out either in our email or any of our social media, which is Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And also you can leave comments and stuff on our website, which is www.accordingtowillieb.com. Now, on another note, before I let you go, there is still a little bit more work to do on our new venture called Culinary Highway. We just got our logo back the other day. We are in the middle of filming our first episode. Should wind up filming that this week. I'm really excited about this. I have a feeling that this is going to get a lot of accolades. We are doing it in a TV show format, and it is going to be very polished, unlike this podcast, which is, I open up the word butcher shop and butcher a few words, and, we go on down the line. But I am excited about that venture. We are pouring a lot of our resources into that, but look for that coming up really soon, and that is the Culinary Highway. And that will be 15-minute, basically a TV format, if you will, on YouTube, coming out within the next few weeks. Until I see you again next week, don't forget to caffeinate and conquer, and I hope you have a great day, and I really appreciate you listening. Have a great day. Bye-bye.